Hey Brick Maniacs, welcome back to another Friday Sit Rep. Be sure to check those inboxes for another week of retail exclusive savings. Otherwise, we got a heck of a lineup hitting brickmania.com right now, so let's check it out. All right, starting things off with our Spotlight pre-order done by Mary Wilson. The Project Ukraine has pretty much affected everybody, and well, this week was your week because we had this another crazy turnaround to get this build into prototype phase. So this is the BTR-4, which is Ukrainian amphibious APC. Like I said, Mary Wilson, our designer, so let's talk a little bit more about what went into this build.
Yeah, for sure. So we had a previous BTR that Dan created, BTR 82. And you know, starting out, we were like, oh, these look pretty similar. And then you start looking at the angles.
Like,
and then you start looking at where the doors are. And before we thought it was just, you know, the turret and the engine were swapped. This one's farther back. Everyone's been saying it's like the sports car model.
Yeah, sure.
Because the engine's in the middle and I don't know. Yeah, but then after I really was like digging into this, I realized like how different and unique this vehicle is.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is really this like front portion. Like you can just see all those angles on there.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of came out of like left field, you know, didn't know. But I appreciated that Dan kind of helped me out with the front as well, just so we could get all of those angles and like get it to be as accurate as possible. So it was kind of a team effort for that one. Really appreciate that.
Well, and considering the timeline you're working with, I mean, there was literally a pile of bricks, and then 3 days later, here we go, BTR.
Yeah, it was maybe like 5 days of time to like build it and get into Eldra and all that.
That's crazy.
So, also like Slam. Oh, we actually have 2 prints on here. So these 2 front windshields have prints. But he just made those today. But we've got other prints as well. We've got gun ports on both sides. They're kind of like alternating on either side there. So it's going to be on the slopes here, as well as like the number marking on either side. Mm-hmm. And then we've got like back doors are going to be printed with a little bit of the digital camo, as well as like
cool
handles and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so you can like access the back through here. These hatches open up, of course. You can fit a decent amount of minifigs in there if they're sitting. So there's a lot of room in there. And then on the other side, like we've got, I'm missing some bricks here, but
gap not intended.
Not intended. And we've got there's like a large hatch. Dan was joking. It was like it looks like a microwave or like a mini fridge or something. So that's on the side there. And then we've got the Ukrainian Armed Forces emblem. It's like kind of like a Red Cross looking thing.
Sure.
That's on either side where like the door would be like roughly here. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, did not get a functional door, but those angles, you know, how to get them exactly.
Yeah, right. So, it's kind of like, which one do you want? Do you want it to open, or do you want it to look like the front's supposed to? Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, and then in the front here, both of these hatches open. You can fit a minifig in there, so we're including, it's the same minifig as the Ukrainian rifleman.
Correct, just no rifle.
Just no rifle. Mm-hmm. He's got this whole thing instead.
Which, from the images we've been seeing that we're basing this off of, that's pretty much who's been hanging out of these things is their rifleman. So yeah, very cool.
they've been standing out of the top hatch. And then as for this, I believe is called the Paris turret. So there's like a whole bunch of different ones, but this one seems to be the most common. So it has like these launchers on the side, as well as like
I like that.
Like
that's
the
really
sight
cool.
over here. And this elevates and depresses. And then I still kept the same feature of Dan's update of the BTR 82.
Oh yeah.
Where you can steer a little bit here. So the we were joking, like the turn radius is like
huge.
You know, ridiculous. But it's still like fun to have that playability in there. Yeah.
You need a football field to make a U-turn, but who cares? Yeah,
but I mean, like, well, I mean, how far are you driving this thing, really?
I feel that.
Yeah, I think that is about it for this one.
Very, very cool. Well, what a turnaround for the BTR-4, now available on pre-order. Once again, this is part of the Project Ukraine initiative, so those proceeds will be going to the International Red Cross. But that wasn't all this week, because we still have pre-orders for the Falklands month as well. Mary, you've done the Scorpion and Scimitar in the past, but this is kind of well, I suppose it'd be a little bit backwards from where it was in Desert Storm. So tell me a little bit about this 2-in-1 build.
Yeah, so this one, okay, so the previous one was, Desert Storm, so it was all in tan. We had some like chevron markings, and it was like loaded with some extra gear. For this one, I kind of took the gear off of it, so then it could have like these side slopes. If you're familiar with the previous one, I just had it straight down and then had like, like a shovel and a gas canister, like covering it. And this, I was like, let's just do a plain, like let's just see these slopes on the side. We got that nice dark green and black camo go along with all the other Falkland stuff, which I think it's really nice that it all matches. It just made me happy.
And it's a cool looking color scheme. Yeah, absolutely.
I know, right? I really like dark green. So that was fun to work with, especially because like in camo, you're able to be a little bit more flexible with parts. Sometimes if you're building like strictly in dark green, you're like very limited.
Sure.
But this, because black, there are so many pieces available, you're able to basically make whatever you need to make. So
yeah, very cool.
That was very nice. We also have printed front gear on either side, and then we are printing another like license plate essentially on the front. I think that might be all for printing. It's very like, I don't want to call it plain, but like there weren't many markings on it, like consistent markings on it for like all the photos I found, and there are a surprising number of photos of this.
Yeah,
so
I bet.
There are a lot of great reference images as well. And then, so right now it's in, this is a Scorpion.
The Scorpion mode, yes.
And then, Scorpion mode. And then this time we're using candlesticks for the barrel, which I love. I love these candlestick pieces.
Yeah, it's a really good
rave
update.
About them.
I noticed that on the render. I was like, wait a minute, there's a hole there.
Yeah, right. It looks good. It's
not
smooth.
flex tubing.
And then that's the scimitar. So it's really just like you remove a candlestick and add a longer.
Right,
part,
you just need a bigger barrel. Yep.
Yeah. That's essentially it. Yeah, like the you can fit a minifig up there, coming with another Falklands minifig. Has the same camo as everyone else, which is fun.
A more modern British tanker, but not quite modern, right? Exactly.
Somewhere in between there. Got the hatches, and this elevates and depresses as well. And I think that's about it for this guy.
Yeah, well, I dig this kit just because, one, obviously, if you're a Falklands War person, then this is obviously a month for you. But then I think just when you look at the build itself, it's a cool, small, modern tank with a reasonable price point.
Yeah, for
There's just a lot to like about this build. Also available now on pre-order, but that is not the end of our Falklands War month. We've got some more check-ins to get to. But for now, Mary, thanks for checking in.
Of course.
All right, continuing with our Falklands War Month pre-orders, we have the AML 90, George Hicks, our designer, and Brennan, our project manager for this bad boy. I love the camo. I like how much is packed into this teeny little build. Tell me a little bit more about this newest kit.
Well, as you said, this is the AML 90, originally a French design. I think it's in the same, if I remember correctly, it's the same line that made, say, like the AMX 13, if you remember that from the 6 Days War. I think that's that same line. This thing is very visibly, not quite a tank, not quite an armored car.
Yeah, right.
Because it does have these really nice tires, really nice camo scheme, as you said before. It's got a 90mm gun, which feels like you're kind of compensating for something.
The fact that my chassis is still a car.
Exactly. A lot of lovely detail in this. You've got your smoke launchers, both your antenna, lights, the crew hatches are very nice and pretty much accurate to the brick build. I've seen these things, and you could print them theoretically, but it'd be like one line there, and
sure.
It wouldn't be worth your time. But you do get some really cool printing out of this. So we're going to have a grate. This goes across the front here. Very similar to the, I can't remember what build that was. We had something similar where it's kind of a circled grate.
Oh, sure, kind of like on the back of the Land Rover.
That's what I was talking about. You're going to get that. You're going to get a little driver's hatch right here on this slope plate. You're going to get some awesome detailed brake lights back here.
It is a car, after all.
And you're going to get a nice, you get a crew door here with a little gas cap as well. So a lot of detail packed into it. Printing-wise, got these really nice looking tires that I think premiered on another George kit before this one. I think it was one of his, Korean trucks?
Sure.
Or World War II trucks? I can't remember.
Well, they're beefed up and they look how they should.
Yeah, they do. I'm really liking it, and I'm going to have to use it for something. I've been actually trying to apply it to some of my own builds, but
Nice.
it's kind of hard to do with anything bigger than that.
Shared techniques make the community stronger.
Exactly. Yeah, as for other details, you got your lovely little machine gun here in the mantle, as well as this lovely gun using the candlesticks,
Yeah,
which is
right.
something I'd never seen before, and it makes so much sense all of a sudden. I feel like that's great for things both 1/35th scale and I fiddle around with like making destroyer turrets.
Yeah, absolutely.
On my desk, and they work great.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
It's not some rinky-dinky, eventually drooping flex.
Yes, I enjoy it much more than flex tubing.
Yeah, so fun little thing. Didn't really do a whole ton in the Falklands, sadly enough. They basically rolled up on Invasion Day, parked themselves in Stanley, and said, "That's probably far enough, right?"
Kind of an
let's do
interesting
that."
show of strength.
Exactly. We're here. I mean, we're not going to venture any further because that's where the garrison actually is. But we'll hang out here.
This place has great parking. I mean, that's why we're sticking around.
Yo, I'm double parked on top of a Mazda. So,
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, obviously it comes with a minifigure as well, still in pre-order phase. That's why we don't have any of our printing or the actual minifigure itself. Otherwise, anything else you want to go over?
Well, yeah, actually. So
Cool.
you are going to get a great little minifigure. Got one of our lovely little berets. He doesn't actually fit in the hatches that we've got here because they're smaller than too wide.
Okay.
So I suppose if you wanted to like stick him in and have him like do this kind of thing, that's a possibility. And I guess there's a certain something of like kind of standing on it, like George Washington crossing the Delaware sort of thing.
Riding atop your
exactly.
armored car.
But I don't think it's very practical for not getting your head blown off. So, yeah, that's the AML-90. Fun little build, great amount of detail packed into something very small.
Indeed, and a very friendly price point for everything that you get with the build as well, which is awesome. Well done, George. Thank you, Brennan. And go pick yours up on brickmania.com right now. All right, so we're moving on to our new releases, taking a look at the Syrian Technical. Nate, our project manager for this awesome build for Women's History Month. So tell me a little bit more about some of the cool play features I can already see you exploring on
you're
this thing.
seeing one. So I don't know if these struts actually do position the truck up, but considering that considering that this is a big AA, like a 23 millimeter AA cannon, and it goes, it probably needs like something to hold it
Some
back because the
support.
truck is on wheels and it can just like bang, bang, bang. That'd be awkward. So those sort of keep it in place. The gun obviously swivels. You can take the hood off and put the minifigs in here. There's 2 extra hair pieces. You get some sort of smokestack thing.
Almost a snorkel looking them.
Minimal printing, but there's
Oh,
printing
nice,
here.
yeah.
You get the little non-copyrighted grill front. You have the license plate in the back. These are stickers actually, because not all the YPJ trucks had those on there.
Sure.
And some of them kind of might want to keep incognito just in case.
Yeah,
so,
makes sense.
So if you want to add them, go ahead. If not, well,
Optional stickers,
Yeah.
we love it.
yeah, and it's me being a project manager. Why are you surprised at this point? And it does come with 2 minifigs. The heads are different, but the bodies are the
Same uniform.
same uniform. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they came across really well. From what I can tell, they don't have like official boots, so they're just kind of running in there with like non-copyrighted sneakers. The camo pattern on these are really good.
Yeah, it's really clean.
The classic 1980s Lego female hairpiece.
Yeah. Sharp looking colors though.
Yeah, no,
A cool contrast to that white vehicle.
Yeah, it's a really nice contrast. But, also, it does have another feature. It does have suspension, but it's more so just like a wobble
Oh,
suspension.
cool.
But
Yeah,
still
that's
looks
really neat, though.
nice. But yeah, overall, this is a pretty simple build. Oh, of course, the doors open and close,
And close.
according to Landon. Yes.
A very important distinction.
Yeah, the gun goes up and down. You got the 2 seats to put them on. There's a little box in the back to try and put stuff in there.
Oh,
But
cool.
we didn't include anything, so you can figure that out.
There you go.
There's 2 extra little gray boxes in here to be like,
Replacement ammo.
yep.
It's cool.
And the back door also folds up.
To the tailgate. Yep.
Yeah, but it's also connected to the gun, so I don't want to screw that up a little.
Sure,
It's
I
not like
got you.
fragile, but I just don't want to deal with it right now.
Fair enough.
But yeah, overall, it's a very simple, well-built design, and yeah, this was a fun one to work on.
Yeah, it's a very cool kit, a nice little bundle, some cool play features, some cool printing, and the nice part is no pre-order here. This is ready to ship out.
Yep, just get it now.
Absolutely. So there you have it, Syrian Technical, now on brickmania.com. Nate, thanks for checking in. Okay, moving on into a very special minifigure segment. We're taking a look at our standalone Joan of Arc minifigure for Women's History Month. This one definitely a collaborative effort pretty much across the design team. So I have Slam, Lando, and Amanda here because all of them had a part to play in creating this excellent figure. So Landon, you want to start things off just by talking a little bit about some of the firsts included in this build or this minifig?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, like you said, collaborative build for sure. We're seeing elements from several different departments. From paper printing to it's like a paper fabric that we're kind of using, from printing to UV printing to 3D printing, just all across the board. And we're seeing different items, perfect caliber sword, and 3D printed armor, and let's get a 360 of that. So I had that tucked under here to get that kind of dramatic pose, but a nice 360 of that. I guess let's start with the flag here. Slam, we got you here. What do you want to talk about?
So I do all of our printed parts and fabric accessories for the most part. And this one came along and said, "Hey, do you want to do a Joan of Arc flag?" I'm like, "Sure, sounds great. That sounds pretty easy, right?" And then doing research on it, it turns out that there's this great historic description of this hand-embroidered flag that Joan of Arc carried into battle that came to her in a dream directly from God. And so what did I get to make? I got to make a field of lilies with God sitting in judgment with angels on left and right, and the names Jesus and Maria on it. So, and with a silk border. That was like, so that's the artist, that's the task at hand. So I Lego-fied it. I think this is the first time I've gotten to do a Lego God image of any kind, so that's pretty fun. That's a first for me. It's quite outside of our normal realm of stuff, and it turned out great. Went with a totally different flag shape than normal. It's this long banner. I wanted to go bigger with it, but we had to fit it inside the packaging, so that's what we ended up with.
Was the size tricky at all? It's a pretty small fabric accessory compared to what you're used to working with, and a lot of detail compared to a canvas truck cover.
Yeah, I mean, it is smaller, but it's also it's long. I think it works really, really, really well. It only has 2 holes in it for a bar to go through, which I think works great. We've done at least one other small flag in the past. So this isn't the smallest thing we've done, but it's the first minifig scale carryable one. And then it has that great topper that Amanda and Austin worked on.
Did that one. Yep.
Yeah.
What is it, Lando?
Put me on the spot. Globus Cruciger or Cruciger Globus. I don't remember the order.
I think it translates to
It's the
a
whole-
ball with a cross.
Holy hand we made.
It's a
Buy
symbolic
2,
of power.
and
I
you can
guess.
make a mock of other things
There's
with a holy hand.
there's so much history that I feel like we're just scratching the
What a
surface on
fish
everything.
wound.
I guess speaking of Amanda, you can talk better on these 3D printed elements here. There's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, this was a fun one. So Austin did the topper, the thing that I'm not
What's
going
it called?
to try to Crucible something
Yeah.
of things. Worldly
Globus.
Crucible.
It is a Globus.
Worldly, it was close enough.
Yeah.
Ended up doing a bunch of research, kind of bouncing things back and forth with Landon a lot, trying to find good reference of what she may or may not have been wearing.
Plate armor, obviously, a little different than the lobster ones.
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
comparing,
Right.
Yeah, a lot. I honestly probably spent more time researching and trying to find a happy medium of what maybe out there. Found a Facebook group all about like random armor. Yeah, it was it was good times. And so basically kind of had the pointed nose on the helmet. I had a lot of fun just modeling this one up. Got the big shoulder pauldrons. I'm not sure if they're called pauldrons back then, to be honest with you. I thought it was interesting that all of them seem to have like just the big buckles to keep the breastplate on and connected to the piece that kind of goes around the neck. But yeah, very happy with the fit on this one. Was able to get things closer to the torso than I've been able to. So yeah, and then it's all hand spray painted.
Yeah, the color matching on that is incredible. I mean, it looks perfectly integrated in that sense and very like texturized.
Yeah, the spray paint that we ended up coming up with for this one is slightly different than the Roman, but not by much. It's
Sure.
like one different layer, but yeah, I think it complemented Landon's art really nicely.
Nice. Yeah, this all kind of worked together like surprisingly well. We really didn't know how this would all look in the end. So it's, we're submitting parts lists, we're calling out different processes, but we hadn't actually, made anything like this quite before. Maybe I guess the Roman Legionnaire was the closest comparison, but
Yeah, that was mostly just me.
yeah, exactly. That was your artwork.
I
right?
didn't have to ask
You
anyone.
didn't have to ask anybody, but
Well, not to mention with something like that, you're dealing with more of that tunic look underneath,
Yeah.
not necessarily.
yeah, it's like
Exactly.
how do you chainmail, and how do you kind of interpret where does the armor begin? And like there's parts where we have some chainmail, which I'll just get into that. So she's got the head, the hood piece, the coif,
Yes.
the chainmail coif, over her head, and that works really well with that helmet. We'll get another. Let's check that out again. Just like really, really a nice looking integration with that. But then removing the armor, head comes off. Not like in real life.
That's not how
That
she
did not
died. It's
happen.
okay.
And then we have a chainmail, just sort of undershirt there. And that's got a little bit of just the human form to it. Not just so static like a lot of the like maybe Lego interpretations of chainmail would be. But also I chose to depict chainmail in a more historic kind of way. Historic manuscripts or tapestries. They're really simple kind of almost like little half moons or little moons that to depict this pattern, because you'd spend all day if you're trying to literally draw each individual circle for a chainmail. We do have more literal interpretations of chainmail on some other figures, but I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a homage to just classic etchings and manuscripts. So a little bit of inspiration from there. But yeah, again, the armor, there's a lot of printed armor, and this is on a silver figure. I don't know, have we done a silver figure printed on that before? I don't think so. Or a flat silver Lego. So I don't know. This is maybe like a robot in minifigure's past life, but suit of armor. I think that's cool. And then just for the artwork style, I kept it as pretty cartoony and simple, or, kind of cartoony-ish and simple. Just again referencing those older manuscripts. Really simple, just kind of black details with a little bit of white highlights here and there.
I have no idea what they're called, but I love the joints on the elbows and the
Yeah,
knees.
everything's got a
That's
name,
really
and
that.
yeah.
I found a massive diagram and I couldn't pronounce like 90% of it. It was all in French, and I'm like,
Right.
I'm not going to Google translate these.
The dragon wing looking thing.
The dragon wing
Exactly.
looking thing. Here, we'll set that up on top so you can see those boots maybe a bit better. Overall, I think it's a convincing, interpretation of armor in minifigure scale.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where, if we do choose to take on more projects like this down the road, let's kind of blaze a trail for that. Let's get this armor back on.
I was impressed
Anything else?
how well the silver took to the art itself. Like you can still tell it's silver. I was very impressed because I was
Yeah,
like,
the
oh,
black
is it
doesn't
gonna
cover
like
it up.
yeah?
Yeah, I was trying to go sparse on the artwork just
Yeah,
kind of for
I
that
think you did
reason.
really well.
So obviously the
Nailed it.
chainmail covers it up a lot, but there's
Oh, my
areas.
armor covers it.
Yeah, and the armor.
Sorry.
It's like a fun just building model. It's cool that all the details are there.
I was honestly torn after I saw your artwork. I'm like, oh, we shouldn't put. I should stop. We shouldn't
Stop.
put this on there. It looks so good.
That's cool. And then kind of wrapping it all up, we had the again. It came to her in a dream. There was this sword behind the altar that she wrote to the monks, and there sure enough was a sword behind this altar, and this was the sword that she used in battle, and it was great for morale, I guess.
She was only like 14 while doing all this or something. When she started all this, she was like 14.
I did some pretty cool things when I was 14, but
Right.
maybe not to that level.
I didn't save a country or helped it. I wasn't a martyr.
Here we go. So here it's I have this tucked in behind a little bit for sort of
That's the pose.
display purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe from the back, I don't know if the actually would have been tucked behind the armor. It's like, oh, the flag is caught. Does that happen a lot in your research, Slam? Did that happen a lot with historical flags?
It's like the no capes from Rebels. No flags.
Gets caught in the horse hooves.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, did you find this out in your research?
There's an upper limit to how long a banner can be, and it's like it has to be just short of like tangling length. Yes.
I feel like any length other than like 1.5 feet could tangle someone. Like you get about
Somebody.
2 feet and someone's gonna.
But those are designed for the combat class flag carriers, right? The flag dancers, I think they're called.
Flag dancers.
What are those called? Flag line, flag corps, flag. Oh crap! I swear my cousin was.
So
one of those. Anyway.
this also turns into it's the holy hand grenade or holy battle mace. It's got some hefts behind it. Anyways,
I was going to say, before we spiral more out of control, remember the Joan of Arc minifig is available right now at freakmedia.com.
oh yeah, right, let's end it like that.
Okay.
All right, Brick Maniacs, that'll just about do it for a Friday sit rep. Couple of quick notes before we go, though. One, Project Ukraine has cleared $24,000 in donations sent, so props to everyone who's had a handle in that. Two, we have those grand openings right around the corner in California, the 9th in San Diego and the 16th in Vallejo, so make sure to join us for those awesome events. And then three, coming back on Monday is the final restock ever of the Tiger Crew Pack. So if you're interested in getting your hands on that, here's your fair warning. This is the last time that it's going to be around. All right, that'll do it. Thank you very much for watching.